Robert Plank Show, episode 340: Strategies, Systems, Struggles, and Challenges. Grow your business and find personal transformation by tapping into a winning mindset with Kay Sanders. Hey everybody, and welcome
Okay.
back to the show. Okay, and we're talking right now with Kay Sanders, and her website is kaysanders.com. That's Kay Sanders.com. And Kay has been featured on CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, and other media outlets, and she truly believes that everyone not only deserves, but also has the ability to live a fulfilling life full of success and achievements, and she specializes in helping coaches, consultants, and other service professionals to grow their business with the right systems and strategies to put their sales and lead generation on autopilot so they can turn their passion into a profitable and successful business. So, okay, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It is great to have you here. So, can you sort of tell us, sort of in your own words, like, I mean, what do you do and what kind of has you fired up lately?
Well, what the first thing like to what kind of got me fired up is really making a difference in the world. I mean, my goal is really I want to change the world one person at a time, and I really specialize in those systems and strategies. Oftentimes, entrepreneurs they have the struggle with the technical aspects. They want to really grow their business. They really want to take the business to the next level, but they don't really know how to. And system and strategies are really what you need to have in business in order to up level your business. Because if you do everything manually, there is no way that you can really, grow your business to the level that you want to grow it into. And that's really where my passion comes in. I mean, I love technology. I love, the strategical aspect of, figuring out how can I grow my business? What kind of strategies can I implement to really get the clients that I want? And that's really what I help my clients with is really, helping them like fill the gap from where they're at right now to really making their business a huge success. And that's really what got me fired up. And also like from the mindset aspect, I do a lot of mindset work as well, EFT, and really shifting the limiting beliefs around, like, or overcoming the limiting beliefs, because I really realized that no matter how good of a system and strategies you have in place, if your mindset is not right, if your vibration is not right, if you have that negative energy around you, you're not going to be able to attract any clients. So that's why I focus a lot in my coaching also on the mindset piece to really allow my clients to let go of those limiting beliefs, let go of those old habits that are really stuck with them right now that will really keep them from growing the business to where they want to grow it, and so they can really make that impact in the world and also have that freedom in their life.
Cool, and I think we all sort of want that. So lots of interesting stuff to unpack there. There's mindset, EFT stuff, and then so you kind of mentioned, okay, so systems and strategies, and just to kind of get everyone sort of caught up on the same page, can you sort of explain to us like what a system is to you and what a strategy is to you? Because I think that this kind of gets thrown around a lot, and some people maybe have different ideas. So can you sort of explain to us like what a system and a strategy is for you?
Okay, well, actually, it kind of goes hand in hand. So, for example, a system would be having like a sales funnel, having like lead generation tools in place to continuously generate more leads, which then really that also turns into a strategy, because a strategy is like a process that you can reuse over and over and over again to get the results. So systems and strategies go hand in hand. So the system is really what delivers, and the strategy is basically the system that you can reuse over and over again to really like tweak it, make it better, implement different things, and just it's always about testing and tweaking. But that's what the strategy is, really testing and tweaking the systems that you have to make it effective.
Cool, and just so that we kind of get a really good idea of what this is all about, you have your like coaching clients and things like that. Can you sort of walk us through maybe like a little bit of a before and after? Like, did you have someone that came to you and they were kind of on the right track with some things, but they had their hang-ups, they didn't have these systems and strategies, and maybe you kind of set them on the right track? Do you have any interesting stories like that for us?
Well, yeah, actually, two. One was really a lady. She came to me. She was really struggling. She was like within the first year of being in business, tried like she was like posting on social media, like left and right and doing all these different things, but still had that big problem with getting clients. So she came to me really at the merge of almost giving up, because she's been at it for a little while. She knew she can really do a lot, can make a big difference in her life, and she knew that she was good at what she was doing, but she really had that hard time with getting the clients. So that was her biggest struggle. So I started working with her and I helped her really first of all, really have that strong foundation, have the right pricing structure, have the right offering, really niching down effectively to target the right audience, and then really doing the client acquisition, getting her in front of her right clients, having those conversations. Because if you are in business and you don't have weekly conversation with potential clients to really share with them what you do, how are you supposed to get clients from that? So I had her go from no calls a week to 10 calls each week, and then we also worked on the whole sales conversation, so she closed more or inspired more people to actually work with her. We implemented certain lead generation tools for her, and now she's actually at the level where she consistently gets the clients that she wants to work with. She no longer actually struggles with, oh my God, where's my next client gonna come from? How am I gonna make my mortgage payment and those type of things. So that was one. And then another client, he was already very successful. He already had a lot of clients, but he had no effective online presence. So I created a website for him to have a nice looking, professional looking website. Also started with the lead generation, and the next thing is really going to be pushing out the lead generation strategies for him too. But he's already getting clients from that lead magnet that we put out there. So that's like the two biggest that I can think of right now that really had a major impact on their business overall.
Cool, and I like that you kind of gave us those two sort of different scenarios, or sort of almost contrasting things. Where one person seems like she was sort of working their tail off and posting on social media all day and maybe spending up all the time, but not spending their time on the right things. And it sounds like the other person kind of just didn't have that foundation in place. So even if they got to that point where they were taking those actions, there wouldn't be sort of like a website to lead them to. And so you mentioned a few different interesting things, like having those weekly conversations and niching down. And I noticed that both of these sort of case studies you mentioned sort of led to, okay, like they need to get clients, they need to have these calls. So can you kind of explain to us like what that's all about? Like should people be looking to like sort of have clients of their own in order to make the big bucks?
Well, I mean, of course, you have to have clients. I mean, depending on what kind of business you're in, either you need clients or you need to make sales with products if you have products. But I mean, you always have to have clients. You have to have those conversations to let people know that, for one, you are in business, what you do, and really let them know that they might be a good client for you. I mean, if you don't have the calls, if you don't have those, if you don't reach out to people and let them know that you're in business, I mean, maybe later on down the road, once you've already made a name for yourself and you have those online systems in place to get clients to attracting to you, you do have to get out there. You have to either network or have those calls. Like for me and also some of my clients, they focus heavily online because, like for me, my ideal clients, they're not local. So I have to rely heavily on being online, having those outreaches where I have conversation with people that I meet online, and not so much. I don't really go to networking events because that's not for me. And most of my clients, they also go online a lot because that's where their ideal clients are. My ideal clients are other coaches, consultants, and healers. They're not really that many here, but the key is really you need to get in front of your ideal client. You need to have those conversations to let them know what you do, who you work with, how you can help them. Really paint that picture that if they would want to work with you, what transformation can you bring to them? So it's very important that you have those conversations, because if you don't, you're going to have a really hard time getting clients because no one really knows that you exist or what you do or who you are.
It makes a lot of sense. And so, I mean, can we? I kind of like to kind of us both get on the same page about sort of what a client is, because like when I hear someone says they have like a client, what I'm picturing is like someone has some kind of like recurring sort of payment coming in, like maybe they're getting paid $1,000, $5,000 a month, and there may be some sort of maybe like regular meetings like on like a Skype video sort of thing. I mean, is that sort of on like the right track? Is that sort of first impression in my head like the right thing to think when you mention clients, or do you have some other sort of idea about what a client is?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what industry you're in. Like for me, for the coaching consulting industry, a client is someone that I work with consistently for a longer period of time. Because in my industry, I mean, change doesn't happen overnight, and neither does success. So I do work with my clients for at least 6 months, but ideally like 12 months. So that's like a continuous agreement that I have with them where I work with them for a longer time period. I mean, there's some other, let's look at a massage therapist, for example. I mean, they might just have a client one time. So it really depends on what kind of business you're in. You can have reoccurring clients. You can have someone that's on some kind of reoccurring payment, or they just come in whenever they need to. Like, let's say a hairdresser. I mean, they get a client here and there. They might never come back. So it really depends on what industry you're in, but the point is really you have someone that pays you for your services or your products or whatever that is that you're offering.
Awesome. So thanks for clearing that up. And so people should have these clients, and like you said, sometimes it's like a 6 or a 12 month, or maybe like a massage therapist might just be like a one-time thing. And so, I mean, have you seen any sort of difficulty in people kind of getting themselves out there? Because I know that I'm still not super great at it, but I know that early on, just the whole idea of talking with someone and meeting with someone, even online, was sort of scary. And then you might be wondering, well, then how the heck did I make money back then? And it was a matter of I'd sell, a bunch of copies of a course or an ebook or a plugin. But then that sort of thing like takes a while to ramp up, and it seems like it's a lot of work to make all those, $50 sales, $20 sales. And so, I mean, what are your thoughts on sort of if people are looking to maybe get out of their comfort zone, break out of their shell, have more self-esteem, whatever you want to call it? Like, how do people sort of get over that nervousness when it comes to getting out there and meeting with people and stuff?
Well, it's basically just like any other fear. You just have to jump into it, and you gotta fake it until you make it. I mean, you when you're first starting out, I mean, you don't have those success stories. You don't have the success to really back up that you are really good enough. You have to believe in yourself that you are good enough. I mean, if you became a coach, a consultant, or anything like that, you got into that business because you can help someone. You have the ability. You've gone through a lot of challenging times. Maybe you figured out a way how to come out on the other side okay, and you can help someone. So really focus on that. Focus on your self-worth and really believe in yourself and believe in your own abilities that you can help someone. And when you go out, not so much look at it like, oh, I need to get another client, I need to get another complimentary session or anything like that, but really go out there, just network, connect with people, share what you do, and really focus on service rather than on the outcome that you want to have. If you're going into a conversation with focusing on the outcome, oh my God, I need to convert that into a paying clients, I need the money, or anything like that, you have that needy vibration around you, and that really pushes people away. And if someone really has a hard time with really stepping out of their comfort zone, what I do a lot with my clients like EFT. You can do meditation, affirmations. I mean, there's so many mindset tools that you can use to really shift your mindset. Personal development is really the thing that has helped me a lot when I first started out, because I used to be an introvert, and you might not believe me now because you hear me talking, but I used to be the person when I went into a room, I was the one all the way in the back. I was observing everyone. I didn't really talk to no one. People had to come to me. And now I really had to learn to shift around, so whenever I go somewhere I have to be more of an extrovert, because otherwise no one is gonna know who I am. But really, personal development was really what has helped me tremendously to step out of my comfort zone. And even now I still have times where I feel a little scared, or like talking in front of people is still a little scary to me, but I really focus on, well, who am I not to go out there and share my gift, share my story, share what I've gone through. And if I can just inspire one person, that makes my day. I mean, I've had a pretty interesting story, a lot of struggles. I mean, it's not just that, one day I woke up and I was super successful or anything like that. Never happens that way. But I like to use my story, my struggles to inspire other people, so they know that, even successful people, they've gone through a lot of struggles. They've gone through a lot of things. That person really knows what I'm going through. So I mean, also, don't be afraid of using your own story. That you might feel, if you're saying, yeah, I used to really struggle with getting clients, but you know what, that makes you human. Your ideal client can relate to that. People can't relate to perfect, to huge successful and never had any struggles. That people can't relate to that. But when you open up and you share your story, you share the tears, the depressions, the overwhelm, the struggles, oh my God, I'm ready to give up. That makes you relatable. People are gonna love you for that, because for one, you showed up, and for two, you admitted that you're not perfect. You admitted that you've gone through a lot of challenging time to get to where you're at today. And even if you're not completely there yet, you are still at least two steps ahead of you. And when it comes to clients and when it comes to stepping out of your comfort zone, I mean, don't talk to no one, for example, that already makes millions of dollars if you're not there yet. Talk to someone that is at least two steps behind you, because that's your ideal client. You just need to be at least two steps ahead of your ideal client, and that's the people that you can help. And then as you go along in your business, you're going to continuously learning new things. You're going to keep moving forward, and then you can keep taking your clients with you on your journey. So whatever you learn, you can take back to your clients so they can learn more. And then as you grow, as you go along, as you learn more, then your ideal client might change too, because then you can reach out to people that are a lot further, because you are a lot further. So I hope that helps with the whole stepping out of comfort zone.
Yeah, it does, and there's lots of great techniques in there. I mean, I heard things like jump in and fake it till you make it, and I heard a lot of it sort of like kind of move it to the outside, so that way it's like instead of like being trapped in your own head and saying, well, I'm so nervous, that by kind of moving it outside, you say, well, who am I to not to help all these different kinds of people, and also I liked how there was something in there where you kind of said that, well, there's like the shy personality, and there's the more kind of like out there and sort of active personality, and you kind of like need to step it up and kind of be that person you need to be in order to get your business to grow and to help all those people and to connect people. And sometimes you just kind of have to step it up and make it happen. And I can really relate to a lot of that. And so you mentioned some different sort of mindset techniques in there, like the affirmations and the EFT stuff. And I always hear about like EFT kind of get thrown around every now and then, and it sounds kind of like mystical and kind of hocus pocus. And the only way I really heard it explained was like to like tap your face and tap different parts of your face and see what happens. And it wasn't really explained to me that well. So can you kind of like maybe set me straight and tell me like what is this EFT thing, and like what's an easy way for someone to sort of try it out?
Okay, yes, I completely understand where you're coming from. I mean, when I first learned about it, I'm like, what, I can tap all over my face? This is ridiculous. But it's really, you have different meridian points. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've heard of acupuncture or acupressure before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That basically, when they put the needles, they put them into different meridian points as well. And with EFT, you tap on the meridian points while you say certain things. So you want to tap out the negative things. So, for example, if you have a fear of failure or fear of rejection, you would tap out, like, first you start out with, okay, how bad does it feel? So let's say if you have a fear of rejection, where do you feel it? So let's say you have tightness in your chest when you think about maybe calling a person and you feel like, oh my God, they're going to reject me. So you can tap on that. So the negative things, you make a list of all the negative things that you experience, that you're feeling, that you're thinking, maybe what they even think of you, those type of things. You write all that stuff down, and then you write down the positive. What do you want instead? So first you're going to tap out all the negative things, and you're reinforcing with the good. And it's basically, you can even tap out any traumas that you have, because everything that happens to you in life stays within you. You might think you overcame something, but deep down in your core, you still hold on to stuff. So some people, they hold on to rejection from the past, or maybe they've had some really bad experience with their loved ones. Maybe they went through a lot of trauma, which still affects them today. Like, for example, I give an example. Like, I was rejected when I was a little kid from certain people in my family, which still today is still affecting me, because I had to tap around that, because whenever I was talking to clients or potential clients, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, what if they reject me? What if they think that I'm not good enough? And these are with EFT, you can really shift your mindset around. The same with money. We have a money blueprint. So if I would ask you right now, how would you feel about if you can make, let's say, $50,000 a month? If you have a negative response, they're like, yeah, you're crazy, I'm never going to make that much. That is your money story. And by using EFT around that, you can really tap out that money story, so you allow yourself to make more. Because I mean, there's proof, there are certain coaches and consultants out there that make a lot more than just $50,000 a month. I mean, they make $100,000 or $1,000,000, whatever, a month. And it's all just a money story, because the universe is unlimited. You have unlimited opportunities, abilities. You can make as much as you want, but we put limitations on ourselves. We put limitations on how many clients we can work with, how much we can charge for them, because they might not want to charge so much. And that's all just our internal stuff. That's our ego is holding us back. And with EFT, you can really tap out all of those negative things and really tap into good things, the positive things, which really you can have that major breakthrough. Like I know whenever I tap on something that's really deep down, like something major, after I'm done with the round, I'm super exhausted because I released that negative energy. And that's really what it is. With tapping, you're releasing that negative energy. So you basically, if anyone wants to learn how to do that, you can go on YouTube. There are so many videos around that, or type in EFT scripts. You can find out about how the script is, how to do it. I mean, there are different ways that you can learn about it. You can do a course around it too. But yeah, YouTube and the internet, there's so much out there that you can learn how to do EFT. It's very easy. You don't need to have a whole degree around that. It's super easy to use yourself.
Awesome. Well, thanks for explaining that. And so it sounds like you sort of identify like what you want to remove, like the negative stuff or the positive stuff, or decide what kind of problem you want to solve, like that money mindset thing, and then go to YouTube and grab a script. So that sounds slightly more, I guess, like scientific or developed than like sort of the weird way it was just like, oh, just tap stuff on your face the way it was explained before. So thanks for clearing that
Yeah,
up. And so
no
sort of
problem.
as we're kind of winding this down, so one thing that I'm curious about, sort of getting some of these coaching clients and things like that, is I'm always curious about like what kind of like things and what kind of web pages need to be set up in order to like get the best clients possible, because I mean I imagine that it might be sort of difficult for someone to sort of get a coaching agreement without a website. And so I mean, do you have any sort of like a funnel of some kind to push people through? Like, do you have like an application process or a questionnaire or like a discovery call or these kinds of things to kind of narrow down those people that you meet into clients? Anything like that?
Yes, so there are a couple of questions that I would like to kind of cover what you kind of mentioned. Like, for one, you don't need to have a website to get clients. I mean, don't let that hold you back. If you don't have a website yet, and it is not going to hold you back from getting clients. You can get clients without a website. Now, from the web designer point of view, you should have a nice looking website. You should have a professional looking website, because your website is your online reputation, your online business card, basically, your online catalog, salesperson, whatever you want to call it. So you definitely want to have a nice looking website. Don't do it yourself if you don't know what you're doing, because it can hurt your reputation. If you just throw something out there and it doesn't look professional, it can really hurt your reputation. It's going to look like you're not investing in in your business, and people might less likely to actually pay you for your services. Now, as far as the questionnaire, what I do have a questionnaire on my website. That way, that gives me a good idea of where the client is, where the potential client is, what are their challenges, what are their goals, what are their struggles, so I can prepare for the session with them. So basically, when, let's say you want to have a session with me, I would say go to my website, go fill out the questionnaire, I get the email, and then I can prepare for the session. Once you hit submit, you get taken to my online calendar, so you can set up a time right there and then. It's all automated, so we don't have to figure out, well, what time zone are you in right now? And when is a good time for you? That's very confusing for me all the time with the different time zones. But that way, so you're already on my calendar, you get an email, you get a reminder email, easy peasy. The questionnaire will help me prepare for the session, because during my session, I also help my clients put a little, or the potential client, to put a little plan together with actionable steps on how can they move forward, what can they do to get clients, what can they do to, what systems should they put in place, yada, yada, yada. So the online questionnaire is really helpful. I also can see if the person is actually serious, because I mean, it is like what, 10, 15 questions, and if they're not really serious about it, then they're not going to fill it out. So I know I don't have to waste my time with them. And then also, I do ask a question: are you willing to invest in yourself, in your future, and your business? Because if they're not going to check mark that one, then I know they're not even going to invest in themselves. Then they're not a good client for me. So having a questionnaire like that online is really beneficial, not just for you to set up the session, but also it makes the client or the potential client to really realize, I mean, do I really want that? Am I really serious about that or not? So having that kind of system in place is definitely beneficial. It saves a lot of time and also makes you look a little bit more professional.
Great stuff, and I can definitely imagine I can relate to that. Where like by having them jump through a few of those hoops, like you said, 10 or 15 questions, ask them a few things about their business, ask them if they're serious about making a change. Sounds like an easy way to kind of cut out the riffraff and talk to those people that you should be talking to. So lots of amazing stuff we talked about today, systems and strategies and stuff about mindset and transformation, EFT, getting clients. And so if someone listens to our conversation today, where should they go to find out more about you and find out about maybe buying something from you or becoming one of your clients?
Well, my website would probably be the best way. They can also schedule that session directly on my website. It's like a work with me tab and then consultation. And they can set up an appointment with me. I am on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn. I just started my YouTube channel, so I have some videos on there too. If someone wants to check that out, everything is K Sanders. LinkedIn and Facebook is K Sanders, and on on YouTube, I think I have it under K Sanders Coaching. So just type in my name and something will come up.
Super duper. So everyone do that. Make sure to go to kaysanders.com. That's kaysanders.com to check out her site. And if you want to work with her, click on that Work With Me tab. And while you're there, check out what she's up to on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And I want to thank you so much, Kay, for stopping by the show and sharing some of your ups and downs and some of these commonalities you notice. And most importantly, just like those sort of simple things that hold us all back. And they're simple things, but they seem to always kind of persist, especially if we're not aware of the problem or we're not ready to make a change or we don't take things seriously. So you've given us sort of a lot to chew on, a lot to think about. So those people who were impressed by what you had to say should go right now to kaysanders.com, click on the Work With Me tab, and check out what you're up to on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I want to thank you so much, Kay, for stopping by the show and sharing what you had to share with us today.
Well, thank you, Robert. It was definitely a pleasure, and I hope I was able to provide you guys with some good value.
We really appreciate you listening to today's episode of The Robert Plank Show. Subscribe to us on iTunes and rate and review us at robertplank.com/iTunes.